Some people don't like change, but you need to embrace change if the alternative is disaster. If something's important enough, you should try, even if the probable outcome is failure. People should pursue what they're passionate about. That will make them happier than pretty much anything else. Starting a business is not for everyone. Starting a business, I'd say, number one is have a high pain threshold. It's very important to like the people you work with. Otherwise, your job is going to be quite miserable. I think you should always bear in mind that entropy is not on your side. We can't have, willy-nilly proliferation of fake news. That's crazy. You can't have more types of fake news than real news. That's allowing public deception to go unchecked. That's crazy. I think life on Earth must be about more than just solving problems. It's got to be something inspiring, even if it is vicarious. I say something, and then it usually happens. Maybe not on schedule, but it usually happens. We're already cyborgs. Your phone and your computer are extensions of you, but the interface is through finger movements or speech, which are very slow. If you're entering anything where there's an existing marketplace, against large, entrenched competitors, then your product or service needs to be much better than theirs. It can't be a little bit better, because then you put yourself in the shoes of the consumer. You're always going to buy the trusted brand unless there's a big difference. There's a silly notion that failure's not an option at NASA. Failure is an option here. If things are not failing, you are not innovating enough. I don't create companies for the sake of creating companies, but to get things done. I think it's very important to have a feedback loop, where you're constantly thinking about what you've done and how you could be doing it better. The key to making things affordable is design and technology improvements, as well as scale. When Henry Ford made cheap, reliable cars, people said, "Nah, what's wrong with a horse?" That was a huge bet he made, and it worked. We are the first species capable of self-annihilation. I wouldn't say I have a lack of fear. In fact, I'd like my fear emotion to be less because it's very distracting and fries my nervous system. An asteroid or a supervolcano could certainly destroy us, but we also face risks the dinosaurs never saw. An engineered virus, nuclear war, inadvertent creation of a micro-black hole, or some as yet unknown technology could spell the end of us. The problem is that at a lot of big companies, process becomes a substitute for thinking. You're encouraged to behave like a little gear in a complex machine. Frankly, it allows you to keep people who aren't that smart, who aren't that creative. If you go back a few hundred years, what we take for granted today would seem like magic. Being able to talk to people over long distances. To transmit images, flying, accessing vast amounts of data like an oracle. These are all things that would have been considered magic a few hundred years ago. A company is a group organized to create a product or service, and it is only as good as its people and how excited they are about creating. I do want to recognize a ton of super talented people. I just happen to be the face of the companies. The value of beauty and inspiration is very much underrated, no question. But I want to be clear, I'm not trying to be anyone's savior. I'm just trying to think about the future and not be sad. Great companies are built on great products. People work better when they know what the goal is and why. It is important that people look forward to coming to work in the morning and enjoy working. If you get up in the morning and think the future is going to be better, it is a bright day. Otherwise, it's not. There have to be reasons that you get up in the morning and you want to live. Why do you want to live? What's the point? What inspires you? What do you love about the future? If the future does not include being out there among the stars and being a multi-planet species, I find that incredibly depressing. Life is too short for long-term grudges. Brand is just a perception, and perception will match reality over time. Sometimes it will be ahead, other times it will be behind. But brand is simply a collective impression some have about a product. I always invest my own money in the companies that I create. I don't believe in the whole thing of just using other people's money. I don't think that's right. I'm not going to ask other people to invest in something if I'm not prepared to do so myself. It's okay to have your eggs in one basket as long as you control what happens to that basket. I'd rather be optimistic and wrong than pessimistic and right. If you're trying to create a company, it's like baking a cake. You have to have all the ingredients in the right proportion. I think there should be regulations on social media to the degree that it negatively affects the public good. Patience is a virtue, and I'm learning patience. It's a tough lesson. When something is important enough, you do it even if the odds are not in your favor.